What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Extra Innings Podcast. Your host, Elijah, and we're back today on Thursday. Today is April 16th, and we are almost a month into this season. Let me lower this mic. I don't know why it's so high. Why are we so high? All right. So today I had a great time watching my Yankees get their asses kicked by the Angels due to a grand slam off Ryan Yarbrough. But we're going to talk about the Yankees in a little bit. We got a packed, well, not really a packed. We got quite a bit to talk about, though. Quite a bit. Including, obviously, New York is just in a, at least baseball-wise, is in a really weird spot right now. Both teams, one worse than the other, but not by much. We're going to talk about the Diamondbacks, surprisingly enough, which honestly I've been putting off talking about the Diamondbacks. I don't know why I've been putting them off so much. They deserve to be talked about considering how well they've been playing. We're going to talk about the Red Sox and then some rookies. Some rookies as we're almost a month into the season. We're going to talk about some rookies. All right. And no, I have not cut my hair yet. It's still long as shit. And I've yet to cut it. But let's get into it. So as of yesterday, and the Mets they're playing tonight, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check on this, though. Mets, because I know they're playing the Dodgers right now. So they lost yesterday, and they play. Oh, that was the end of the series. Are there any more games tonight? Hold up. I'm curious now. Totally off topic here, but I got to check it out. Because today, oh yeah, we got plenty of games happening tonight. Oh no, we only got 2 more games, and one just started, which is the Orioles and the Guardians, Astros and Rockies play tonight, and the Mariners and Padres play tonight. So Thursdays, Mondays and Thursdays are always weird because you get the day games that are ending series. So like the last game of series, and then or you're getting just off days. Like no Diamondbacks game tonight. The Yankees played their game, which I think they may be off tomorrow. No, we got a full slate tomorrow. Hell yeah. Full slate tomorrow. Okay, cool. Fridays are prime time. What am I talking about? Anyway, so the Mets have now lost 8 straight. They're on the struggle bus, man. I'm gonna be honest. They are not playing good ball at all. And actually, I made a video talking about that today on Instagram. I talked about it a little bit. Let's look at real quick. Let's look at the schedule because I'm kind of curious to see like what's transpired. So they've lost 8 straight. Obviously got swept by the Dodgers. And here's the thing. I find it really unfair. And I'm not saying that the Dodgers are a super team. I mean, quote unquote, whatever. I'm not saying that they're unbeatable. But it's like, I was pretty skeptical. Like everyone was like, should we panic? Should the Diamondbacks panic? Because they started the season off against the Dodgers. And it's like, should they panic? Oh my gosh, they're 0-3. They got swept by the Dodgers. I'm like, yeah, first series of the year, playing the Dodgers of all teams is going to be a tough task for anyone, right? So, if you're already playing bad ball and then you go play the Dodgers, odds are it's not going to get any better for you. Just being honest, right? But yeah, so the Mets. We'll start. I guess we should start when the season started, right? So they were part of that opening day on the 26th. They took 2 out of 3 from the Pirates. Lost 2 out of 3 of the Cardinals, took 2 out of 3 from the Giants. I'm sorry, took 3 of 4 from the Giants. Lost 2 of 3 to the Diamondbacks. Swept by the A's, swept by the Dodgers. So yeah, that's a tough. What is that? 3, 3, 3. So 9. They've only won 1 of their last 9, losing their last 8 straight. So right now they haven't won a game in over a week. That's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It's not looking good. Now, before I get into what my theory is or why I think that this is just being so bad, they're missing some guys. They're missing some guys on the pitching side of things. I think they're missing a few. I'm not for sure. They're obviously not playing with Juan Soto, which is, people underestimate. I've heard it both ways. That's one guy. Well, yeah, but he's the guy. He is the one in your lineup, especially with no Pete Alonso. He is the one. He's the guy. You construct your lineup around him. When he's not in it, it can throw a lot of things out of whack. It gives the pitchers better ways to pitch to your actual guys like Lindor, to Bichette. They're going to pitch differently without that guy in the lineup. So it's a lot more than it's just one guy. Let's call it for what it is. But at the same time, your guys aren't playing right? You're not performing. Now, I will say this. Before we go any further, if you needed any more indication that the Mets are offensively struggling, Francisco Alvarez, and I said this in my video earlier, Francisco Alvarez, who they, demoted last year. They demoted him last year to AAA because he just wasn't playing well. They demoted him last year. Is not known necessarily as an offensive powerhouse by any means. He is leading the team in batting average. Yeah. And in OPS. Leading the team. That is a surefire indication that something is not right in this lineup all the way through. And then, he's batting .271. Then it drops 30 points to Luis Robert. Whatever. I mean, .241 is no slouch. Then you go Bo Bichette, then Brett Beatty, Simeon. I mean, you got a lot of your key dudes batting under 200. I mean, Polanco is batting 179. He is 10 for 56. Lindor is batting 184. Who just hit his first home run against LA, so maybe on the up and up. And then Simeon is batting 194. He's 13 for 67. And then Brett Beatty's at 203, so right above that 200 line. So not good. But before I have theories. I have a theory. We'll get into it in a minute. Let's look at the pitching. So ERA leaders right now. So Clay Holmes is leading with a 1.96. Not bad. He's 2-2, 23 innings, and obviously below that's going to be McLean, 23.2, 2.28. Also a good ERA. Then Freddie Peralta at 3.86, and then it jumps to David Peterson at a 6.41. I hate when one thing that I want to get fixed, MLB, I'm calling you out here. When I click that I want to see who's leading in ERA, I don't want you to give me the top 5 and then cut everyone else off. I want to see everybody. But like Kota Senga, who they needed desperately to show up, even though, because the thing was they brought up Jonah Tong, and he was not ready. He did okay last year, and then he had a tough spring training, so he's down in AAA. So they needed Kota Senga to come up, and he's got a 7.07. He's thrown 14 innings. He's given up 17 hits. I don't want to lose the stat thing I have here, but I do want to see what opponents are batting against him, because I'm sure. Yeah. Oh, right here. So opponents are batting 298 against him, and opponents are batting 321 against David Peterson. Not good. Manaea 225. I know they're using Manaea out of the bullpen, which I think sooner or later Senga's going to have to drop, and they're going to have to put Manaea up in that rotation. Devin Williams 6.75, not uncommon. And then Luke Weaver with an 8.10. Listen. I know I keep mentioning I have a conspiracy theory, and we're gonna get there, but we got to address this first. After I turn on my fan, because it's hot as shit in here. Hold on, it's always so hot in here. And I even tell myself before the episode starts, I turn on the AC, and I'm like, okay, well, we don't need the fan, because sometimes the fan can mess with the sound. And then for some reason, it's just, I guess, hot as shit because I'm getting hot. Anyway, so talking about the bullpen, right? So they just brought up Craig Kimbrell, who has thrown 2 innings. Not bad. He's only given up 2 hits. He's given up no runs yet. So surprising there. Obviously, that's going to change. He's not going to make it through the year spotless like that. And if he does, hey, crazy, but highly doubt it. Here's the first problem. And this is what I told people. I've got a group chat where we talk about ball with a couple different people. And I've said it before. This is not news. I've said it on Instagram. I've said it on probably other podcasts because I've talked about this. I don't know how many times, right? Luke Weaver has struggled before he had his year with the Yankees in 24. He struggled to find a place. He was bounced around with the Reds, a couple other teams. He was a starter. Then he moved to the bullpen, and he just couldn't figure it out. He couldn't find it. Then he goes to the Yankees, and he kind of tweaked some stuff, and he figured it out for a while. Then came back in 25, and he sucked. And then the Yankees didn't extend the offer to him after that, right? So he struggled, and those struggles seem to have now followed him to the other side of New York. They weren't going to go away. I saw him pitch the other day, and he's not the same guy. Whatever he did in 24, I hate using fluke because I know how hard pitching is, and I know that you can feel it for 1 minute and then struggle to get it back. But this seems like an extended problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is now 2-year span of the same issues where he's, he can't hit with certain pitches, and then he lays fastballs in at 94, and they're going to get crushed. I mean, that's just Can't do it. Devin Williams, I don't know what's wrong with Devin Williams. I don't know. I somehow, obviously when he was in Milwaukee, I don't know if it's pressure. Like that's the first thing that comes to my mind with Devin Williams is pressure. He was really good in Milwaukee. Everyone knew him as the airbender because he's got that nasty screwball change thing that he throws, which is it's good. When it's on, it's on. When it's not, forget it because he only throws about 93 and has a cheap shot cutter that he throws in there that's not anything special. He lives off of that changeup. When he was in Milwaukee, there wasn't any pressure, right? When he was in Milwaukee, they weren't very good. They were always kind of like that, riding the line of getting a wild card spot and kind of forcing their way into a DS. And this was in what, 24? Yeah, 24. And listen, I say pressure because when he pitched really well, there was never really anything on the line. There was never any pressure because again, the Brewers weren't really that good. This is a year before they turned into one of the best teams in baseball, right? So they were still not very good. They were kind of a bubble team. So the expectations weren't high. It was just him to go out there and throw his game, and he was fine. You know, you want to play big time ball, you go to New York, you go play for the Yankees. You know, even in regular season games, there's a lot on the line. You're playing in New York. There's a massive spotlight on you. Okay. Didn't do well. Didn't play well at all. Struggled really bad in the Bronx. And I knew the minute. Now, he signed a 1 year, right? So we knew he wasn't going to come back. And I knew that because of his performance, you know, Cashman and them weren't going to extend him an offer. Goes to the other side of New York, which, funny enough, it just seems like the Mets are always buying, you know, the rejects of the Yankees, it felt like for a second. And it looks like those struggles have also followed him here. Gave up a grand slam last night. Just nothing special. But again, another team that's like, hey, you're still in New York. Mets fans are going to expect a lot out of you, and you crumble. So the only thing that I can think of is just the pressure is getting to him, and he just can't play in New York. And it's fine, man. A certain player can play in New York, and certain ones can't. That's not news. That's just comes with the territory. So the bullpen has been atrocious, dude. Atrocious. I mean, Austin Warren 13-5. Evan Williams 6.75. The only guy that's coming out of the bullpen that's doing okay is Brooks Raley. Tobias Myers doing okay. What else we got here? I think it's all it's showing me now. Gerber only thrown 2 innings. He's got a 0. But Luis Garcia 7.11, 8.10. I mean, the bullpen ERA is massive. It's bad. So no offense, no bullpen. Recipe for disaster. I was watching their game when Nolan McLean started. I didn't watch his. I was pretty mad that I'm always upset when good teams play the Dodgers, especially good pitching matchups, because I can never watch the games because they start at freaking 9:00, and I'm my ass is asleep by 9:30, so I catch like an inning. But his duel against Yamamoto was awesome from what I heard. But the game before that, he threw. Damn, who did he throw against? Let me see. Let me pull up the schedule here because I saw it. I watched that game. I guess it was the Diamondbacks. No, yeah, it was the Diamondbacks. That's why. Yeah, I watched it. So he threw. Oh, that's right, because it was Eduardo Rodriguez versus Nolan McLean, which was the rematch of the WBC final. I did watch that game. The minute that McLean comes out of the game, bullpen gave the game away so fast it wasn't even funny. I mean, within an inning of McLean leaving, the game was over. And that alone should tell you, like, you got a problem. You got a problem. But here's my thing. This is starting to feel like there's something in Queens, specifically with the Mets, that's far beyond the play and the talent on the field. And, you know, obviously people are freaking out about the Lindor stuff. Yes, he's been a little bit uncharacteristic. He got picked off. He's made a bunch of errors. He hasn't got the stick going. You know, people forget that he had broke his hand, right? People forget that he broke his hamate bone and didn't play in many spring training games and just jumped into the season. So his start, I'm giving him a little bit of leeway. People forget. They think that he just, you know, he got hurt early. It was part of that trio of injuries with Corbin Carroll, Francisco Lindor, and Jackson Holliday, all broken hands. Holliday's not even back yet. And Corbin Carroll's a freak, right? And he was taking hacks and doing shit, you know, like days after his surgery. We didn't hear much from Lindor after the surgery. And it was always kind of just like, will he be ready for opening day? Will he be ready? Yes. And, oh, he's going to be ready. And of course he was ready. But you have to, you know, you got to get into it. Everybody else has been playing for now 2 months going into the season, right? Everyone's been playing, been getting the reps, game time reps. He didn't. So you got to think he's got to get, knock the cobwebs off in whatever way, or, knock the rust off and get going into it. And it's going to take a little bit. It's going to take a little while. People just sometimes forget Francisco Lindor, so the expectations are high. So I'm not worried about Francisco Lindor. I think it's weird. Maybe his head's kind of just not all focused and ready yet. But the errors, whatever. Let the man heat up. We'll come back and talk about it. If Lindor is still struggling by June, July, then yeah, maybe it's a conversation. But I'm not real worried about Lindor. It is weird. It's uncharacteristic, like the mental mistakes, like not knowing how many outs there are. That's a little concerning. But the physical errors, the striking out, the not being super productive at the plate, you give him a little bit of a pass on that. I think that when it comes to a lot of other things, especially with the fact that, the Mets continuously spend, I think they mismanaged their bullpen. I think not replacing Edwin Diaz, I think not fully replacing Pete Alonso, those were mistakes. I think they stacked offense in the wrong places. But I think that there's just kind of a weird vibe in New York. You start to question, is there a clubhouse problem? There's been rumors of animosity between Juan Soto and Lindor. So you just start to question, like, is there just a weird vibe thing going on with the Mets? That's my thing. I think that there's something else happening where the vibes are just off, because you look at the Mets and, you look back 2-3 years ago when the Mets kind of had that run. They got to the championship series, and we almost got a Subway Series World Series in 24. That was a much more combined, conjoined, like the vibes were good with that Mets team. And I enjoyed watching that Mets team. That was a good team. But a far cry from the team chemistry we're seeing so far from this 2026 team. So I think that there might be just some clubhouse problems, to be honest. I think that's kind of been a big piece to this. But we'll see. We'll see again. Still early. I hate using that, because eventually that term's not going to be relevant anymore. But again, we are still early. It looks like they've got the Cubs starting tomorrow. They play at 2:20, so I'm 100% going to watch that game. They got the Cubs, and then they're going to go to Minnesota next week. So, I mean, they kind of have a softball lob to them. So the Cubs are no slouch. The Cubs should put up a pretty good fight for them. But the Twins, they should roll through. The Rockies, they should roll through. And then the Nationals have been playing decent ball, but they should roll through the Nationals. So they've got 3 series coming up after this Cubs series, where they should kind of be able to kind of maybe hopefully fall into a groove. So we'll see what happens there. Now, moving from one team to the next, let's go to the other side of New York. We're going to talk about the Yankees, who are also on the struggle bus. All right, let's see what we got here. So the Yankees just lost, if I'm not mistaken, 2 out of 3 from the Angels. No, they split. Okay, they split. What's with these random 4-game series during the week? All right, so they got swept by the Rays. They lost 2 out of 3 from the Athletics, got swept by the Rays, and now they just lost. They took 2 out of 3, or they split with the Angels during the week. I've watched all these games, mind you. I watched all of them. And then they're going to go to Kansas City for the weekend and have a day off, and then they got the Red Sox. What do I think about this? How do I sum this up? So let me be honest with you. A lot of people were like, "Oh, the Mets are the worst team in New York." Honestly, man, like they're about even. The Mets and the Yankees are even right now. They're both on the same struggle bus. I will say that the Yankees offense has heated up a lot more. Judge is hitting the ball well. A lot more production offensively than the Mets. That's 100% sure. But the only reason, like the Yankees should have got swept. The Yankees should 100% have gotten swept this series, all the way through. They should have been swept. They only won on Monday, the 13th. They only won that game because of a freaking pass ball in the bottom of the 9th or 10th. I forgot what it was. That's the only reason they won that game. And then they lost 1-7 on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, yesterday, they won off of a literal communication error between the shortstop, Neto, and Peraza, shortstop and third baseman. Ball drops and they manufacture a run. Again, that shouldn't have happened because Jazz shouldn't have been on base. That should have been taken care of. And mind you, they lost both these games. They won both these games on Romano, which he didn't pitch on Tuesday and he didn't pitch today. So, and Romano's been blowing saves for the last 3 years. So, no surprise there. But that's my thing. They should have also been swept. They got lucky twice. And that's the only reason they won those 2 games against the Angels. Straight up, I'm not gonna bullshit you. I'm not gonna lie to you. But the bullpen, my gosh, listen, and I hate going back and talking about the offseason because we're way past it, right? Decisions were made, stuff was done. We're here, deal with what you got. And I know they're like, here's why I'm split when it comes to the Yankees, right? Because in reality, there wasn't a whole lot you could really do to change the team. You couldn't. There really wasn't. You have Rice, who was playing well. The only guy that they needed to get was Bellinger, and Bellinger came back. You have Judge. You weren't going to go out and pay for another outfielder because you had Grisham. You could get him for 20, or I think it was 22 million was the qualifying offer amount for the year. So they got him there. You had McMahon club controlled, so he's not going anywhere. You didn't expect him to have this bad of a slump. You knew you were going to have Caballero, which I found out, crazy enough. Apparently, Cashman had said the whole time that the position was Volpe's and Caballero was a placeholder. The minute that Volpe comes back, it's his again. So, and I'm not really totally bothered. I kind of want to see what Volpe's got because Caballero has been very spotty anyway. You had Jazz. He's not going anywhere. Obviously, this is a walk year. I don't expect Jazz to be a Yankee after this year. I'm going to be honest. Don't expect him to be a Yankee after this year. You have Wells. I am a little like kind of like shocked at the Ascar situation. You know, he got his first hit today. I guess they're riding with him as the backup. And then obviously you've got, your bench guys. You've got, Rosario and a couple other dudes that you can, Grichuk, who I think it's time to move on from Grichuk personally. But yeah. So there really wasn't much that they could do. Obviously, Grichuk was a pickup at the very last minute. I think he was on a minor league deal. But I couldn't really sit and think of anything that they could really do like that was vastly going to improve. The only thing that I thought was glaringly obvious was pitching. You lost Weaver, you lost Williams, even though both of them weren't necessarily like impact guys. You had Bednar, you're going to have Bednar. I just think the bullpen is so weak. It's so weak for having such a strong starting pitching rotation between Max Fried, Cam Schlittler, Will Warren, and then you're going to have Garrett Cole come back and you have Carlos Rodon. I personally think it's time to move on from Weathers. I know that he had a tough game and he gave up those back-to-back home runs to really steal the game for them when they lost that game 7-1. That was all because of one, because he ended up having 10 strikeouts and only gave up like those couple hits, which just happened to leave the park, which I feel him, and that happens. But I really think that Weathers is going to have a couple more starts, and then once Rodon and once Rodon and Cole come back, I highly doubt that he's going to be in the starting rotation. I can't see how they don't keep Schlittler, Fried, Warren, and then Rodon and Cole. I mean, that's how it makes sense. I mean, right now Weathers has a 4.29 ERA. Camilo Doval 7.36. Luis Gil, it has a 7 ERA. He has not pitched well in his last couple outings. Blackburn's done okay. Yarborough gave up a grand slam today. Tim Hill is the best we got. Tim Hill's good. I'm not like being sarcastic. Tim Hill and Bednar and Cruz. But even Bednar hasn't played well. Even Bednar, who you expect to come out and shut the door, is at a 4.7 ERA. So really, if the only people that I see coming into the game where I'm like, okay, this is going to be okay, is Hill, Cruz, and even Cruz I feel is like a real toss-up. So it's Cruz and Hill. They brought in Chivilli today, which Chivilli throws gas. He throws 100 miles an hour, but like gave up a bomb to Trout. Like he gets hit hard because like he can't spot his secondary pitches, and when he does, they get absolutely blasted. So that's a problem, right? So you see the issue. So do I think that that nothing's going to happen? I really think that they're going to make some serious changes at the deadline. I think they're going to deal probably. Sadly enough, I think you deal Heel. I think you have to deal a couple of these guys and get some bullpen help if you really want to compete. Right now, luckily enough, like everyone thought that this division was going to be an absolute cage match between, hold on, let me pull up the division. It's easier to pull up the divisions on my phone. Finding crap on the MLB website is a pain in the ass. Oh no. Okay. So yeah, everyone thought that it was going to be, between Baltimore, who is, 50-50. Boston was supposed to be touted to be really strong. Toronto, after their World Series, everyone thought was going to be crazy. Toronto has struggled really bad, though they've been hit with a lot of injuries, missing a lot of pitching, missing key pieces to their lineup. So take that with a grain of salt. And I'm actually wearing Toronto right now. But right now the Rays are leading the division. I think they just won today. Yeah, they won. Swept the White Sox for the first time since 2019. I did see that. Swept the White Sox for the first time since 2019 in Chicago. But yeah, I just luckily the division shouldn't be too hard for them. If they can go strengthen up the bullpen, I think they're going to have to eventually, if they want to win with Judge, this year and maybe next year, if there's a season next year, like these are the years. These are the years, man. You only have so much of Giancarlo Stanton left. You only have so much of him left, right? So you need to sit back and be like, okay, do we get rid of Jones? Do we get rid of Dominguez? Do we deal Heel? That's a lot of starting pitching, and like Heel kind of sucks right now. So is he worth it? Can you get some money for him? Probably. You could probably get some pieces for him. Like they need to build up this bullpen. That's the biggest issue. And then McMahon is the biggest question mark for me because you want to give him the benefit of the doubt because he's so slick with defense. He's so good defensively. He's a great defender. But he can't hit the ball, man. I mean, the Rays literally intentionally walked Wells to pitch to McMahon, and they got him out. It was pretty embarrassing. But you root for those guys, man. You want him to do well. I don't want McMahon to keep sucking, and I think Rosario's good, but I don't think he's the answer long term. I think that they're still going to hope that McMahon's going to come out of it, and I do have hope. I hope that he'll get out of it, but we're going to see. But aside from all that, we have to talk Trout because Trout had a hell of a series. I think he hit a home run in every game. Him and Judge just going back to back because Judge had a phenomenal series. Judge did awesome. I mean, Judge is being Judge, dude. He's batting .236. He's got 8 jacks. Like Aaron Judge is going off. But we have to talk about Trout, dude. I can't not talk about Trout. Not the fish. Like you have to talk about Mike Trout. This year he's batting .246. He's got 7 jacks, 17 hits. He's got a 1. OPS. Like the dude's going off. He hit a home run. I need an extended. Give me the game log. Yeah, let's see here. No, okay. Shit, yeah. Dude, he hit 2 the first game of the series and then hit 1 every game after that. Freak. But also Judge hit 2 that game too. Like they were just exchanging blows. It was almost comical. You could see them laughing. Like you could see Judge like just grinning like, what the hell, man? Like, yes. I think this is the year that we're going to see Mike Trout like do some shit. I fully believe it. I mean, these stats lines look vintage. They look like old school Mike Trout before all the injuries, before he was dealing with all that stuff. I mean, looking at that 2012 year, 326 with that's incredible. Like 2012 and 2013, like crazy. Then you look at 2015, he was crazy. You look at 2016, he was crazy. You look at like all these years of like finishing the year, batting over 300, 333 in 2021. Like, again, I don't want to beat a dead horse here. I just really wish that he would leave the Angels and go compete, man, because he could be a piece to a team and like be a literal catalyst for so many teams that are like on the fringe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right now, he's had 5 seasons above 1 OPS right now, and he's like flirting in multiple other ones with 999, 993, 991, 992. Like Trout is a goat, man. Sometimes we forget how good Mike Trout is because he gets drowned out by Los Angeles noise. But I digress. So will the Yankees get out of it? I'm sure. They're going to need to fix the bullpen, though. They're going to need to either bring up some arms. They're going to have to figure something out because some of these other guys just aren't hacking it, man. Again, for such a strong starting rotation and such a strong offense, the bullpen will kill you. It will literally kill you. And that's what's been going on. So until they fix that, we're going to be in a world of trouble. Moving on. Where's my mouse? Oh, awesome. My mouse is frozen. There you go. I hate this mouse. It's time for a new one. That's what I'm going to get. A damn mouse. All right. So the next team that I wanted to talk about, and it's one that I obviously watch a lot of, right? I've talked about them a lot, is the Diamondbacks. And I was reading a couple articles this morning asking about, will the Diamondbacks make the playoffs? What are the Diamondbacks right now? What are the Diamondbacks? What sucks about the Diamondbacks is that they are in the they're in the NL West, so they're in the division with literally the Dodgers and the Padres. The Giants are having a tough time. Colorado's obviously not a threat. So it is what it is there. But they got to either get through LA or get through the San Diego, which they've gotten through LA before. When they went to the World Series in 2023, they went through LA, and then they went through the Phillies. So crazy enough. But I've watched now quite a few games of the Diamondbacks, and it seems like every game they play, it's a crazy fucking game. Every single time they play, it's out of hand. It's extra innings. It is just an awesome game. So, like, if you're looking to get into baseball, you're looking for a team to root for, the Diamondbacks are that team, dude. They're so fun to watch. Every single time I've put on a Diamondbacks game, it's insane. Obviously, not every time, because there's going to be the ones that are blowouts on either side. But for the most part, like, they are super fun to watch. They're a fun club. You can tell that everyone there, they have good vibes, completely different from the Mets. They got good vibes. I think the one thing that's troublesome is their starting rotation. A lot of question marks there. Their bullpen has done surprisingly well. Ginkel's pitched well. Murillo's pitched really well. Seawald has held it together for the most part. There's that other tall, lanky dude. What's his name? Loizaga's pitched really well too. I forgot about him. Loizaga's pitched really well. Ginkel. What is this dude's name? Ryan Thompson. Damn it. Big, tall, lanky guy. But point is that their bullpen has been really good. Their bullpen's been solid. Taylor Rashi is the one that's really not done great. But let's look at this. Murillo's good when he's on. He's good, but like if he's not on, he's got to throw that fastball. He gets timed up. Seawald, 245. How many saves he has? He has 6 saves so far, which is not bad. Ginkel's pitched well the last 2 outings, not the other ones. But if you look at like some of the starters, right? So Eduardo Rodriguez is pitching phenomenal, carrying over whatever he did from that World Baseball Classic. He's got a 1.96 ERA. He's eating up innings, 23 innings. Ryan Nelson is doing, Soroka's doing okay at a 2.87 in 15 innings. Zach Gallen is doing okay, 3.6 ERA. The thing with Zach Gallen is this. Here's the thing with Zach Gallen, and it's the same with Ryan Nelson too. Ryan Nelson will overpower you with his fastball, but he can really only get through the lineup like 2 times. And then once it gets to that 3rd time through, you run into issues. But again, 2 completely different pitches, right? Zach Gallen's going to try to finesse you, while Ryan Nelson's going to overpower you. But both of the times, I think that Torey Lovullo leaves them in way too long. That's the biggest problem, is that Lovullo leaves them in way too long. Like the other day, I was watching Gallen pitch. When was he pitching? Let me see if I can get a schedule for the Diamondback. No, not the standings, bro. What was it? It was the Phillies on Sunday. Yeah, so he's pitching against the Phillies, and he makes it into the 6th. And the minute he goes to the 6th, he just lost it completely. Gave up a home run to Trey Turner, which barely got out. But that's the other thing, right? So it's like, once he gives up a home run, you should have already going in. You knew this was going to be his 3rd rotation through the lineup, his 3rd time going through. They've already seen him. He didn't have his A stuff, the stuff that he had the couple of games before that, especially when he shut out the Mets. Like, didn't have his A stuff, right? So you would think, hey, we should probably get someone going. We're into the 6th. His pitch counts at about 70. And again, for Zach Gallen, me watching him go throw all these years, for Zach Gallen, you don't go off pitch count, you go off innings, and you go off how many times he's been to the lineup. Because once he gets to the 3rd time in the lineup, is normally when because he'll go no hit through 6. We've seen it. He'll give up 2 hits in 5 innings, then get into the 6th, and then shit hits the fan. He's got that one blow up inning, and you try to avoid it. But the thing is this: if you know he's going into the 3rd round, he's gotten you through 6 innings. You need 3 more innings out of your bullpen, which one's going to go to Seawald anyway because he's the closer. You need 2 guys, or one to give you 2, whether it's Loizaga or Muriel or whatever. Go that route and let the man leave. Like, what? Why are we forcing it out? And then he left him in way too long in that game against the Phillies, where they won at the last second, 4-3. I mean, just left it in way too long. It should have never gotten to 3 innings. It should have never been that kind of game. But so I think there's some stuff there. He does the same to Ryan Nelson. He leaves Ryan Nelson in there too long. When he gets to the 5th inning and he's really starting to struggle with command in the zone, and then things blow. That's how innings blow up. You walk the first guy, you walk another guy, you give up a bloop, and then you're in trouble. Like, you're in deep trouble. Bases loaded, you've given up one, you got runners in scoring position. Like, That's just managerial stuff that you expect more out of Torey Lovello, and maybe he's giving too much leash. But I think that's been the biggest thing with the pitching is I think that goes both ways. It goes both ways. But at the same time, moving away from the pitching, their offense has been phenomenal, dude. It's been great. The offense has been awesome. You got Ketel Marte, who's been jacking bombs, dude. He's got 4 jacks. He's batting 211. That's the one thing about Marte is they bat him leadoff, but he is like an absolute, he's just taking hacks, dude. So I don't see Ketel Marte as a true leadoff. He's more of a power hitter. Nolan Arenado's doing okay, 206. Corbin Carroll, 311, dude. Get out of here. Jose Fernandez. This kid, Jose Fernandez, is just a monster, dude. They've been putting him at first base, putting him at third, and he's just answered the call every single time. He's playing really good ball. He's clutch. But the one that no one, like, he is on no one's radar, and I'm crazy. Like, I watch MLB Network every day. I watch it every day, and they're not talking about Eldemar Vargas. I just know him as, I call him Vargas. What is his first name? Let's try this here. Eldemaro Vargas is batting 383. He is 18 for 47. He's got a 1.068 OPS. Dude is tearing it up, dude. I mean, absolutely tearing it up. Jordan Lawler was doing really well, and then he got hurt. Perdomo is struggling a bit at the plate, but he's playing good defense. Even McCann's hitting the ball well, 250 for a catcher. Gabby Moreno, 275. He's doing well. And then obviously you got Tawa and Thomas. Alec Thomas is 100% a defensive specialist, so you don't really expect him to hit the ball all that well. But even then, I've seen him now quite a few times. He's got some ribbies. He's doing pretty well. He's got 6 RBIs. So Alec Thomas, who's not known for his bat, he plays awesome defense, so I'll give him that. The offense, the guys that you expect are rolling for the Diamondbacks, which is what you need, which is why they're having so much success. Like they're 11-8, 1 game back behind I guess 2 games behind the Padres. Obviously, no one's going to catch the Dodgers. The thing with that division is you can't attempt to win. You want to come in second, right? So it's going to be a tie between the Padres and the Diamondbacks. I don't expect the Giants to contend at all, and you don't expect the Rockies to contend either. So, but yeah, I think that the Diamondbacks 100% are going to be a team that's going to get a wild card spot. If they can keep playing ball like this, they're the comeback, they're the comeback kings, bro. You can never count out the Diamondbacks. If you're down 5-0 in a game and you're going into the 6th or 7th inning, you cannot let off because they will come back. They don't go away. Like it's fun to watch as a Diamondbacks fan. Like I love watching games because you can never turn off a Diamondbacks game. Never turn off a Diamondbacks game because they'll come back. Like they'll literally come back and it's crazy. I don't know. You can't. They're like they don't die. So it's like as an opposing team playing the Diamondbacks, you have to just stop and be like, it's annoying. I can only imagine how annoying it is to play the Diamondbacks, and they just keep coming back. They just keep coming back, and they just don't go away. Crazy. But I do expect the Diamondbacks to get a playoff spot. I think they're playoff worthy. So moving on. I didn't really want to talk about this. I put it on because it's news. Obviously, we're going to just kind of go through it. But so Jared Duran was in the news again this morning for flipping off a fan. Who are they playing the Orioles? Let me see. Where was it? Yeah, I know the Twins. So he flipped off somebody from the Twins. Somebody apparently told him to go kill himself. I talked about this last year with the whole thing with Liam Hendricks and people threatening. Like, I don't understand. And I know that's a society we live in, dude, like where people just say things, and a lot of people, because of social media or because of, whatever, have lost the ability to know. We've just lost a lot of people as a society. They just have no feel. We as a society have lost feel of what's appropriate to say or what you should say or what you shouldn't say, which I think a lot of times is associated to social media and being people saying things behind the screen and they don't know the difference, I guess. Like, I don't get it. And even like knowing, like, obviously if you didn't know, like Jared Duran went through a lot of mental health issues early on in his career. He talks about it a lot in the documentary on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, just go check it out. It's pretty good. Just come on. I don't want to give a lot of light to it. And I'm not necessarily saying that, Duran was in the right. Just as fans, we got to be better. That's all I'm going to say. As fans, we got to be better. You don't cross the line. You can talk all the shit you want. You suck. You're not good. Talk your shit, whatever. That's You're right as a fan to cheer for your other team and try to get in the head of the opponent. Sure, talk your shit. But there's a line you don't cross, and that's one of them. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Know your boundaries, dude. Know your role. Don't do dumb shit. Okay, so now, kind of getting off of that topic, I saw an article today about ranking rookies. So first on my list, I have to say Carson Benj of the Mets has not played well. So he didn't make the list of who we should watch for rookies, though. He had a lot of hype behind him. So the first one, this is on CBS Sports, by the way. It's on CBS Sports. Is it going to can I share my screen? Oh my God. Well, we're going to try something here. I've never done this before. This is crazy. Oh, nice. I don't know if you can see this on YouTube. I don't know how this is going to come out, but here we are. This is crazy. I'm going to have to start doing this. This is badass. All right. So let's check this out here. So number one rank, and obviously we're going to be looking at rookies who are more or less prospects, but top guys. So number one is Sal Stewart. Now, if you didn't know today, obviously you're listening to this today on April 16th, Thursday evening. There was some heated stuff between the Reds and who are the Reds playing today? Reds. No, not Reeds. I'm looking at watches, man. Reds. Forgot who they were playing. The Giants. Yeah, there was some heated stuff between the Giants and the Reds. That's what the crazy part was. But anyway, so there was a lot of drama there, including Sal Stewart. He was part of that drama. Was the last strikeout of the game, and then things got a little bit heated towards the end. But anyway, I digress. Just kind of fun fact. Go check that out if you haven't seen the footage. So I always find it weird that a lot of these guys have played in the big leagues last year. They played last year, but technically they don't. You have to play a certain amount to lose your rookie status. He didn't, so he's technically a rookie this year. But we knew he was going to be big last year. But right now he's batting 366. He's slashing 366, 471, 683 with 3 steals, 28 total bases in 10 games. Yeah, that's pretty damn good. So I agree with this ranking here. He should definitely he's up there. But we'll go through the list because I didn't fully read it because I wanted to react on the podcast. So CBS Sports is ranking Sal Stewart as the number 1 rookie of the year. They say, will he keep it up? It says Stewart's done nothing but hit as a pro, and during his brief, the verbiage they use. This is what's funny about some of these sites is the verbiage. What is a Koopa? Koopa? Maybe I'm just. In Cincy last season, he tallied 5 homers in 18 games. This season, his plate discipline is very strong. Yes, it is. He looks really good at the plate. He's continued to produce at a high level. Yes, he's a legit all-star contender. 2 is DeLauder. We always remember, I've talked about DeLauder. Obviously, he started the season off really hot. We remember him last year when he made his debut in a playoff game and missed his first pop-up. But he's slashing 275, 333, and 675. He is. I didn't even read this part. He is one of the most productive hitters. He is a monster, absolute monster. So let's see. Will he keep it up? Will he continue to slug 700? No, that's not going to happen. That's not attained. He's not going to be able to keep that up. But if you can keep it going even remotely close to that, he's going to end up in the top of the league. 100%. He's promising. Yes. TJ Rumfield, I don't know much about TJ Rumfield. Obviously, confusing when I saw this the first time. I was like, Rocky, but he's wearing a Yankee hat. Doesn't make much sense. Yeah, so he's doing well as well. What does he play? Third base? Okay. 368, 432, 605. Yeah, the Rockies are always going to have a couple guys here and there. It's just whether they can hold on to him or not. So will he keep it up? No. Interesting. Then you got Parker Messick. See a pitcher? Yeah. What's his ERA? In 11 innings, he's got an ERA of 0.82. Not bad. 11 strikeouts and 3 walks and 2 starts. When he's pitched against the Dodgers and the Cubs, geez, he's going to be good. Rhett Lauder is another one. The Reds have so much promise. I just feel like sometimes they struggle. They struggle to put it all together. They're like the Mets, but not as bad as the Mets. He's a number 7 pick out of Wake Forest. Now he's in the rotation because of the injuries, obviously, to Nick Lodolo and then Hunter Green, who's going to be coming hopefully in the next couple months. He's permitted 2 runs in 6 innings and 2 starts, which is within 11 innings. That's pretty crazy. I mean, he only had 5 minor league starts last season, but because he was injured. Look at this. Some history here. So he's got a 1.3 ERA across his first 8 career starts, the lowest mark by a Red since 1913. His 1.30 ERA is also 5th lowest mark by any MLB pitcher through their first 8 starts since 1961. So Rhett Lauder with that long hair, monster. And then obviously McLean. I think out of all this, McLean should have been placed a little bit higher because his potential and his ceiling, you can't see it. The dude's throwing freaking wiffle balls up there. Maybe I'm biased, but the dude throws absolute wiffle balls, dude. Wiffle balls. Let's see what it says. The 24-year-old right-hander made his MLB's last year, then obviously pitched in the World Baseball Classic. His rookie status is this year as well. He's 100% the top prospect in baseball, and he hasn't disappointed through his first 2 starts. He's got a 2.61 ERA and 10 1/3 with 12 strikeouts with 4 intentional walks with a WHIP of 0.87. He's disgusting. His fastball clocks in at 95.8, throws gas, 45% whiff rate. Will he keep it up? Given Nolan McLean's stuff and his advanced billing, yes, but he's unlikely to establish himself. Yes, he seems like, he's going to be damn good. And the last one on the list, which obviously, if you didn't know, the Tigers just inked Kevin McGonigal to a long-term deal. They had the press conference yesterday. I don't want to speak out on what is. I don't want to misspeak. A 8-year, $150 million with a $14 million signing bonus. So he just signed that literally yesterday. So I can say that they're pretty. The Tigers are pretty happy with him. He is the youngest player in the rankings through 12 games, slashing .292, .370, and .438 with a triple, 5 doubles, and almost as many walks as strikeouts. Dude's a monster. And let me tell you, in the show, he's goated. I got him on my team in Diamond Dynasty. He's a monster. Absolute monster. So I think he's going to keep it up as well. Oh, we got one more. I thought we were done. We got Owen Casey. Yes, Owen Casey's a monster. We're going to speed through these because I'm already at 50 minutes and your boy's hungry. He wants to go eat some dinner. Yes, Owen Casey's a monster. He's slashing .267, .343, .533 through 11 games. This is a little bit dated. But yeah, these guys are tearing it up. He's going to keep that up too. Murakami. I thought there wasn't that many. And JJ Weatherholt. Weatherholt's the last one. Yeah, sure. Okay. We'll go to Murakami. He's batting .200. He's slugging .513 with 4 homers in 12 games. He's also drawing walks. Yeah, no one wants to pitch to him. But the batting average is bothersome. The batting average is bothersome. Let's see what they say. Will he keep it up? If you look at his underlying batted ball metrics, you'll find the cause for optimism. Notably, Murakami right now is the 93rd percentile among MLB's barrel rate, meaning he hits the ball freaking hard. He is also in the 80th percentile in expected slugging. I don't quite agree with that. Expected? No. What are you doing? Are you doing the slugging? You can't expect it. All that bodes well moving forward. The question remains whether he'll make enough contact. Yeah, that's the thing. They're going to be all or nothing. And then JJ Weatherholt, who's awesome at second base. He's played incredible defense. Another premium prospect, won the job coming out of camp. Oh, he's out of West Virginia. He's batting .244 with 10 runs, 1 homer, 5 RBIs, and 3 stolen bags. Yeah, pretty damn good, I'd say. Yeah. So those are the rookies. We've got, Sal Stewart, Chase DeLauder, Rhett Lauder, Nolan McLean, Kevin McGonigal, Owen Casey, Munetaka, Murakami, and then JJ Weatherholt. All monsters, obviously. I think the only one that I'd be a little bit worried about is going to be the Murakami. Munetaka Murakami out of and for the White Sox. I think that he's kind of an all or nothing guy, which is not necessarily bad. It's not a bad thing. I think just so early on in your career, you want to be a little bit more than just the all or nothing guy. I think as you go on in your career, you establish power, you establish your presence at the plate, then you can become the all or nothing guy. I just think it's a little bit too early, but time will tell. He may fix that up real quick. So once again, guys, that's all I've got for today. Kind of a longer episode, so I appreciate you sticking with me. I just found out today that I can share screen on here. I've been trying to figure out how I can do breakdown videos. I think I just figured it out. So be sure to check out some YouTube because I think I'm about to get the content really rolling out here. I'm being dead honest. So be ready for that. I'm excited. This is crazy. I just found this out that I could do this on this platform. So I'm kind of pumped. It's like all I can think about right now is all the content I'm going to make. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. If you don't follow me on socials, be sure to follow me on Instagram. Follow me on TikTok. I got videos on there. I'm talking ball all the time. I haven't been on Twitter as much as I'd like, just because I've been trying to watch games and I take mental notes and then I talk about it in videos or I talk about it on here. But sometimes I'm on there talking ball, so be sure to check that out. Be sure to check that out. And then obviously on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Let's talk ball. I appreciate you guys commenting on stuff. Let's talk baseball. That's what I do this for. So once again, guys, thank you again so much if you've been listening, and we will catch you guys in the next episode.